Hello dear students. Our lesson today is about matrices and especially the matrix row operations. First, an introduction to matrices. What are the dimensions of the matrix? Dimensions means how many rows and how many columns. And the dimension of a matrix is written in a form of a number multiplied by another number. So, in this matrix, we have the first dimension is the number of rows in the matrix, and rows means the horizontal rows. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4 rows. So we have 4 rows. And the second dimension is the number of columns in the matrix. And let's count here how many columns. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4 columns. So there are 4 columns and 4 rows. This means that the conclusion of the dimensions of the matrix are 4 by 4 because we have 4 rows. So the first number in the dimension is for the number of rows and the second is for the number of columns. Now, matrix operations. We have 3 operations for the matrices. The first one is called switch any 2 rows. An example, perform the row operation R1 switch to R2 on the following matrix. So first you have to know what is R1 and what is R2. R means the row. So R stands for row. So the rows, this is R1, this is R2, and this is R3. So to perform the operation of switching the row 1 with row 2 means R1, R2 means to interchange row 1 and row 2. So let's go back here. We have the matrix. It was like this. This is the row 1 and this is the row 2. So we exchange them like this. So row 2 becomes row 1 now, and row 1 becomes row 2, and row 3 remains as it is without change. And we can write it also in this form. We write here the original matrix and we write an arrow, and on this arrow we write the operation that we did. R1 exchanges with R2 as follows. So this is the answer for the new matrix. The second operation is called multiply a row by a non-zero constant. A non-zero constant means any number which is not equal to 0. An example of this, perform the row operation 3R2 instead of R2 on the following matrix. So instead of R2 we'll put 3R2, and 3R2 means 3 multiplied by R2. Again, this is R1, and this is R2, and this is R3. So what we are talking about is R2. So we will talk about this row, and the change will stands for this will be in this row only. So we will multiply this row by 3. So each number in this row will be multiplied by 3. So 3R2 goes to R2 means to replace the second row with 3 times itself. So the answer will look like this. If this is the original matrix, and we're going to multiply each number in the second row here with the yellow color times 3 each. So multiply 3 times 2, 3 times 3, and 3 times 0. And again, this is R1 with no change. Now R2 became 3R2. So this is 3 times R2, which is 6, 9, and 0 instead of 2, 3, and 0. And R3 remains without change also. So we can write it in this form. We can write matrix, the first one, this is the original matrix. So this is the original matrix and goes to the new matrix by multiplying each element in row number 2 by 3. The third operation on matrix is add one row to another. Example, perform the row operation R1 plus R2 replaces R2 on the following matrix. So here we have two rows only. We have R1 and R2. This is matrix, and the dimension of this matrix is the dimension, if you want to revise about the dimension, is 2 by 3 because we have two rows and three columns, as you see. Now, to perform the row operation, R1 plus R2 replaces R2. So instead of R2, we will put here R1 plus R2. This means that the first row will remain without change. So R1 plus R2 replaces R2 means to replace the second row only with the sum of the first and second rows as follows. So this is the original one, the original matrix. It will become 2, 3, and 4. This is the first row without change here. And look here on the second row. The second row was 0, 8, and 1. Now it became 2 plus 0, 3 plus 8, and 4 plus 1. What happened here is that we added the first row, R1 plus R2. We add each one from the first row to the second row. So we add 2 plus 0 here, and we added 3 plus 8, and we added 4 plus 1. So the answer, or the new matrix, will become the R1 without change, and the only change is in R2, which became 2, 11, and 5. So it's written like this. Again, this is the notation of the original matrix, and it's replaced by a new matrix by making the operation of R1 plus R2 replaces R2. Hope you understand and like the video. Please subscribe and leave any comment. Thank you. Bye.